पापा को बोल देंगे कौन करेगी।
पापा को कैसे, भैया को ही बोलना पड़ेगा ना।
बढ़ा देते हैं शाम टाइम में, दोपहर को जरूर।
हाँ शाम को। जय श्री कृष्णा, राधे राधे। भगवत गीता इंग्लिश टेक्स्ट 11. All of you must now give full support to grandfather Vishnu as you stand at your respective strategy points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Purport: Duryodhana, after praising the prowess of Bhishma, further considered that other might think that they had been considered less important, so in his usual diplomatic way, he tried to adjust the situation in the above words. He emphasized that Bhishma Deva was undoubtedly the greatest hero. But he was an old man, so everyone must especially think of his protection for all sides. He might become engaged in the fight, and the enemy might take advantage of his full engagement on one side. Therefore, it was important that other heroes not leave their strategy position and allow the enemy to break the phalanx. Duryodhana clearly felt that the victory of the Kurus depended on the presence of Bhishma Deva. He was confident of all full support of Bhishma Deva and Dronacharya in the battle because he well knew that they did not even speak a word when Arjuna's wife Draupadi, in her helpless condition, had appealed off to them for justice while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all great generals in the assembly. Although he knew that the two generals and some sort of affection for the Pandavas, he hoped that this general would now completely give it up as they had done during the gambling performances. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like a roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. Purport: the grandsire of the Kuru dynasty could understand the inner meaning of the heart of his grandson Duryodhana, and out of his natural compassion for him, he tried to cheer him by blowing his conch shell very loudly, befitting his position as a lion. Indirectly, by the symbolism of the conch shell, he informed his depressed grandson Duryodhana that he had no chance of victory in the battle because the Supreme Lord was on the other side, but still it was his duty to conduct the fight, and no pains would be spared in that connection. After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was the tumult. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. Purport: in contrast with the conch shell blown by Bhishma Deva, the conch shells in the hand of Krishna and Arjuna are described as the transcendental. The sounding of the transcendental conch shell indicated that there was no hope of victory for the other side because Krishna was on the side of the Pandavas. Jayatu Pandu Putranam Yashwa Pakshe Janardhanam. Victory is always with persons like the sons of Pandu because Lord Krishna is associated with them, and wherever the Lord present, the goddess of fortune is also there because the goddess of fortune never lies alone without her husband. Therefore, victory and fortune we are awaiting Arjuna as indicated by the transcendental sound produced by the conch shell of Vishnu. O Lord Krishna, beside that the chariot on which both the friends were seated had been donated by Agni, the fire god, to Arjuna, and is indicated the that this chariot was capable of conquering all sides, wherever his word was drawn over the three worlds. Lord Krishna below his council called a Panchajanya. Arjun below this the Devadatta, and Bhima was a voracious eater and performer of Herculean task. Below his terrific council is called a Poundra. Purport: Lord Krishna is referred to the Rishikesha in the verse because he is the owner of all senses. The living entities are part and parcel of him, and therefore the senses of the living entities are also part of parallel of his senses. The impersonalities cannot account for the senses of the living entities, and therefore they are always annexed to describe all living entities and senses, senseless or impersonal. The Lord situated in the hearts of living entities directs their senses, but he directs in turn all of the surrender of the living entity. And the case of pure devote, he directly controls and senses here on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. The Lord directly controls the transcendental essences of Arjuna, and thus his particular name of Rishikesha. The Lord has different name according to his different activities. For example, his name of Madhusudana, because he killed the demon of the name Madhu. His name is Govinda because he gives pleasure to cows and the senses. His name is Vasudeva because he appeared as the son of Vasudeva. His name is Devaki Nandan because he accepted Devaki and his mother. His name is Yashoda Nandan because he awarded his childhood pastimes to Yashoda at Vrindavan. His name is Partha Sarthi because he worked as charioteer of his friend Arjuna. Similarly, his name is Rishikesha because he gave direction to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna is referred to as Dhananjay in the Varsha because he helped his elder brother in fetching. Well, then it was required by the king to make expenditure for different sacrifices. Similarly, Bhima is known as Varkodra because he could eat voraciously as he could perform Herculean tasks such as killing the demon Hiramba. So the particular types of counsel blown by the different personalities on the side of Pandavas. Beginning with the lords were all every encouraging to the fighting soldier. On the other side, there were no such a credits for nor the presence of Lord Krishna, the supreme director, nor that of the goddess of fortune. So they were predestined to lose the battle, and that the message announced by the sound of the council. King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, below his council, and the Ananta Vijay and Nakula and Sahadeva below the Sughosha and a Mani Puspak, that great the archer, the king of Kasi, the great fighter Skandi, Drashtidhuma Virata, the unconquerable Tyaki Drupada, the son of Draupadi, and the others of kings such as the mighty Nam, son of Subhadra, all blew their respective counsels. Purport: Sanjay informed King Dhritarashtra very tactfully that is the unwise policy of deceiving the sons of Pandu and endeavoring to enthrone his own sons of the seat of the kingdom was not very laudable. The sign already clearly indicated that the whole Kuru dynasty would be killed in the great battle, beginning with the grandsire Bhisma down the grandson like Abhimanyu, and including kings for many states of the world. All were present here, and all were doomed. The whole catastrophe was due to King Dhritarashtra because he encouraged the policy followed by his sons. The blowing of this different counsel became unpropitious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. Purport: when Bhishma and the other on the side of Duryodhana below their respective counsels, there was no heartbreaking on the part of the Pandavas. Such occurrences are not mentioned, but his This particular verse, it is mentioned that the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra were shattered by the sound, vibrated by the Pandavas party. This is due to the Pandavas and their confidence in Lord Krishna. One who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear. Even in the midst of the greatest calamity. जय श्री कृष्णा, राधे राधे.